Good morning, my dear, and welcome back to the cafe. I was playing around with like multidimensional mornings, like a little title for the podcast. I'm not really sure, but welcome everyone. If this is your first time here, my name is Sarah. I am a channeler, a healer, astrologer, and today we're going to be talking about threshold moments. And I'm going to share a personal story, something that happens to me last month, as if you've been here with me, you can tell when I'm a little nervous to talk about something. And it was a threshold moment, but it was not my favorite type of experience. But since we're about to go into Scorpio season does not sugarcoat things. It does not sugarcoat your shadow. And it was definitely, I had to look at my shadow. I had to look at certain things. I got my first real hater. So it was a really interesting experience, a real learning experience for me. So I want to share it with you, talk a little bit about Scorpio season, some key dates that there's some potency for the first week and for the first week and a half of November that I really want to talk about. So let's get into it. I'm wearing the purple dress. It does not have pockets. I thought about doing the thing and leaning on, but it's a little. I don't want to be a little too much for you. So let's grounds together, and let me get some Palo Santo here. If you want to use the Palo Santo to pause the video, go grab your coffee or tea. And if you're new to the Multidimensional Cafe, which is my channel, it's just you and I, transcendent time and space. And we're talking about the awakening, and we're talking about God, universe, source, spirit. I use the term God brazenly, so please, if you use universe, source, divine intelligence, the creator, whatever you'd like, but I use the term God. And we're going to talk about how this threshold moment for me brought me closer to God and brought me closer to my mission, I guess you could say, but in a way that, I haven't actually paused the video, and then we'll get into it. There we are. Yeah. So, as you know, this work for me is embodied, it's lived, it's within me, and my integrity and the way that I navigate this world prevents anything from ever really being gentle, or from being like, it's very clear in my face what it is that's happening. And so I saw some peripheral content creators, just some random people talking about haters and talking about, this is daily life for being a content creator. And I've had on YouTube, I've had people, call me bananas, and in a little bit more intense ways than bananas. And, it's very rare that I even erase a comment, because, at the cafe, we speak from I statements. So if you're talking about what I think, what I perceive, that's not me to take you away. But if you start pointing fingers and you're being an attack type person, a personal attack type person, that's when I'll erase the comment, and I'll really keep the integrity of the group there. And so it was last month, and if you have been with me for a little while, I have actually, I haven't been posting as much. I really kind of went into this threshold moment and really went into, okay, so there's only one other time this happened. I know I'm a little all over the place, but so when I first posted, I'm sorry, the more I touch it, the more the curls go away, but when I get nervous, I just kind of fidget a little bit. So the first time one of my videos ever went viral for me, and it was my Waking Up Post Woke series, and which, with that title, and it got, tons and tons and tons of views. For me at the time, it was 1,000. I think it was the first time that I got 1,000 views. And there was enough Gen Pop type of, I don't believe you, or this, that, and the third, or you're crazy, or this, that. And so I sat there. I remember the moment. I remember it exactly, where I sat there with my phone, and it felt like a threshold moment. I was like, you could erase your whole YouTube. You don't have to do this. You do not have to do this. You're posting videos from your house. This is my living room. You don't have to invite such negativity into your life. You could stop right now. And it felt like a little baby gate, like we talked about a few weeks ago. It felt like this threshold moment where if I keep going, I am welcoming in judgment. I'm welcoming in the perception of other people to not really understand me or know me, but just random people having an opinion about me. And so that happened. And so I walked through the gate, and now here we are a year or so later, and we're back at the cafe. This felt the same way. This felt like an equal threshold moment where I've noticed that sometimes I, don't say all the harsh stuff, or I don't, talk about my personal self, or I don't talk about certain things. And I noticed that. I was like, I'm not sharing with my community. I'm teaching for sure. I kept showing up for teaching. I kept showing up for the Galactic Council meetings. I kept showing up for my members, of course, but there was something missing. There was something that was really missing. And, this, I guess I'm using the term hater because that's like the way, it was like a personal attack. It was in my DMs, and I felt it felt like a threshold moment. And there were so many moments as well, like the amount of subscribers I've lost in the past month, more than I've ever lost before. Like, it's the more authentic I am, the more things fall away. Like, it's so the man in the arena. Like, it's just so, I'm Scorpio rising conjunct Pluto. Like, it's exactly as I would have scripted it if I was writing the story of my life. To be like, you're becoming more authentic, losing all these people. You're asking authentically for help, losing all these people, getting judgment. You're sinking into your highest vibration, you get a DM from a hater. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit with this. Before I talk about it openly, I'm gonna sit with this. And so, I don't know if you've known, I haven't been as, I've been posting some, but not as much as I was. I was posting almost every day. And then I just took a moment. I was like, whoa, this eclipse season, it unlocked something in me. It was such a threshold. It was such a moment where I said to myself numerous times in the past, I'd say 6 weeks, I've said, you could stop. You don't have to walk forward. You don't have to walk through this. You don't have to keep going. And you could pause and reassess and do something different. And I really took the moment to be with God. The biggest blessing that came from this experience is that my conversation and connection to God is now moment to moment, not just prayer or meditation, but it's like in every single breath and every single moment. And so it's kind of like you could take everything away from me. You could take the roof over my head away from me. You could take every subscriber away. You could take everything. You could take every penny from my bank account away, and I've got God. And it's good. And I, sat in fire. I sat in this moment of everything happened all at the same time. And again, I'm a Scorpio rising, conjunct Pluto. So we're going into my season. And so it's even when I do the all signs readings for Scorpio, I sometimes have to give a double disclaimer. This energy, this is not gentle. It is not you are going to be presented your shadow. Thank you, Sybil, for that validation. She's a Scorpio sun. And you are going to be presented with your shadow, to meet it, to stand in front of it, to integrate it. You can't run from your shadow. It's not noon all day long. You have a shadow. You can't run from it. You got to face it. And so all these things were happening all at the same time. And, I'm being reminded of a moment that I had in my membership group on a coaching call where this beautiful member asked me, what was your relationship with your higher self and, God, your spirit team before you were public? Because a lot of the people that I work with are public people, have people that look to them. They're leaders of their world. And so this beautiful member asked me, what was your relationship with your higher self, God, before you were a public person? And it was funny, my whole awakening, my biggest awakening, I've been pulling tarot cards since I was a girl. My waking up post-woke tale has a lot of my spiritual past in there. But one thing that's for sure is that, I was corporate through and through of March in 2020, and the end of March 2020, I started my YouTube channel. So one wasn't omitted from the other. I was public at the same time that I was having my awakening. I tripped and fell during every single experience, and I was sharing it and I was showing up vulnerably. So going into 2026 of being on YouTube for 6 years, I can promise you a few things. You will have haters. You will. I can there's billions of people on this planet. There are people that are not going to believe the same things that you do and will want to tell you what they believe, and they will want to spar with you, and they will want to share that. Do it anyways. You will live. It will not kill you. So go through it. Definitely so. And what was the third thing that I wanted to say? It will bring you closer to the God of your understanding. It will bring you closer to this. It's not like BDE. It's like this thick skin. There's something else. This personal sovereignty. That's what it is. You will come closer to your own personal sovereignty. And you have to remember that, like, if you're here to do something public, if you're here to do something big, don't expect everyone to like you. You don't like everyone. So let it be okay. It's not comfortable. I can say I'm so grateful for this, but I'm grateful for how gentle God teaches me lessons. It was visceral. It was such an experience. I did all the things that I knew I needed to do. I got used to it. And it was such a blessing on the other side, where it's, the closeness that I have to God now on the other side can't be shaken, can't be taken. So I went through that threshold. It took my time. I definitely took my time. And that's something that I really want to offer to you, is that whatever season you're in your own life, whenever you're watching this, be in it fully and know that there's no traffic in your lane. If you need to pause before you walk through the baby gate, if you need to pause before you do something, before you speak to your public community, do it. Hey, baby. Today's episode is sponsored by me, which is convenient because I can keep showing up without the influence of outside sponsorship. Ever felt like you wanted to sit down with me, have coffee, and just talk about the cosmos? The Membership Cafe is definitely the place to do that. We deep dive into all signs readings, channeled messages, card pulls, full moon healings and channelings, and in the Divine Sovereign Room, we have 2 monthly coaching calls as well. This month only, I am offering some discount codes for you for the Paradigm Shift as well as the Reading Room. You can take a screenshot. The codes are going to be right here. You get 10% off your first month. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. Let's get back to the video. What I want to mirror for you, how I would love for you to take away from my experience, is that when your shadow is presented to you, when a hate comment is presented to you, or where there's a threshold, lean into it. Lean into it fully. Swan dive into it. Shadow work is not for the weak. Shadow work takes a courageous heart. So there were 2 things that I really needed to process. What did I write down? A, what in me asked for this to happen? Really, like, what I processed was like getting my relationship with God to be more day to day, breath to breath, moment to moment, than just like throughout the day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And 2, what in me believes this? What in me believes this? Or what is it that I'm not doing? What is it that I'm not sharing? What is it that I'm hiding from in and of myself? So to really allow myself the opportunity to lean in to being seen in a public way, to being heard in a really public way, or maybe more in a Gen Pop way. I have no idea. I have no idea what's next, but I walked through the threshold, God hand in hand, and an integrated relationship with the God of my understanding, being unshakable in every possible capacity. So now let's get into Scorpio season 2025. You can really focus on threshold moments at any time, at any season. We talk personal growth around here, but I love that astrology is such a helpful tool because it gives us certain areas of our life, areas of our chart that we can really focus on. And Scorpio energy is deep transformation. It is death and rebirth. It's shared possessions. It's the nitty gritty. This is the house that's run by Mars and Pluto. I'm super Mars and Pluto run, like double run by Mars, Pluto, a Scorpio rising. So this is a beautiful opportunity to look at areas of our life or areas of, whatever's coming up for you, wherever Scorpio falls in your chart, to face your shadow. to face aspects of yourself that need to be integrated and not run from. You know, having a sassier side, or having like a bum side, or having a judge me side is not a negativism. You know, we have to lean into our old codependent patterns, or our old belief systems, or our old people-pleasing patterns. That was it for me, that everybody has to see me as like the nice healer, where it's like, no, you don't. You don't have to see me as anything, because I'm not what I think of me. You're not what I think of me. I am a soul having a human experience. It really only matters what God thinks of me. That's kind of it. All right. So let's just look at, I don't even know what I want to talk about. So if you are interested in going over all of the key dates, I'm only going to talk about a few, because I want this to be very accessible. It's really only necessary to talk about, I'm going to talk about the first week of November going into the second week of November. Not that all the other dates aren't important. For some reason, I discredit Mercury all the time. I never talk about Mercury. Mercury's going into Sagittarius on October 29th, making a trine to Neptune and to make an opposition to Uranus. So I discredit it. We'll talk more during Mercury retrograde, which is encompassed in what I'm going to talk about. But whenever we have big, you know, Mars goes into Sagittarius, then a full moon, then Venus changes signs, then Uranus changes signs, back to back to back to back. And then the next week, Mercury and Jupiter both go retrograde. So what does that mean for me, Sarah? That means when the astrology in the sky is changing so intensely, it's good to be informed, it's good to be grounded, it's good to be aware. There is a key area of the chart that I want you to be aware of, which is 24 to 25 degrees of Scorpio energy. Just right up here. Let's take these two guys down. Well, Lilith is kind of sitting there. Why is that an important area of the chart, Sarah? Because Jupiter right over here is at 24, 25 degrees of Cancer. Saturn is at 24, 25 degrees of Cancer. Saturn is going to go direct next month in November, and Jupiter, like I said, is going to go retrograde this month. We're going to talk about that date. That means that they've slowed down so much that they're just like, as Pam Gregory says, drilling in. They're sitting there in a trine to each other. And so this trine is happening. So whatever is at 24, 25 degrees completes the grand water trine. It completes this free-flowing energy of Saturn, our interdisciplinarian, and Pisces energy, you know, finishing up some old karmic contracts, really getting things completed in a way so that next year you're walking completely free and clean into the new energy of 2026. Jupiter in Cancer is about home and safety, and there might be a plethora of family issues and plethora of family things that are coming up, generational things that are coming up. Maybe you started talking to your dead ancestors, whatever it may be. But there is it's a lucky planet, yes, but it is an expansive planet. So these two kind of clash a little bit. Saturn wants it grounded. Jupiter wants it free and abundant. Jupiter is like Sag run, where Saturn is Capricorn run. So they're neighbors at the top of the chart. They get that you kind of got to grow up a little bit. It's kind of one of the things that I've really noticed that, and I'll talk about this later on in one of like the Brutally Honest channels that I've been doing, but it's like we kind of have to grow up. We kind of have to take responsibility. We know what to do. We know what to say. We know the small thing that could change our life forever, whether it's as simple as just drinking more water, or setting a healthy boundary, or saying no, saying no when you mean no and yes when you mean yes. Posting. We know that. We totally know that. And so be kind to yourself, yes, but also lean in. You can look at the shadow side of it during this season of like, why don't I think I'm worthy of being an entrepreneur? Why am I not worthy of a thriving bank account? And journal that out. I did that the other day. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. I'm sitting in deeply rooted ancestral, it was like the weeds of a mint plant that were inside of me that I was like, this is disgusting. I can't believe I've been wearing this. I can't believe I had this in my garden. Because once you see it as the root, a belief system that was planted in you that you didn't put there yourself, you can eradicate it, but just you got to have courage to sit with that. You got to have courage to be in that, and to be angry, and to be sad, and to be miserable, and to be like, okay, cool. It's like, I'm not one to say like, we all contracted this, which we did, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't make it feel better. You still have to feel the pain of it. You still have to have a good shower cry. Like, of course you do. Okay, so this point is very important. It's very, very important. When does everybody aspect that? So on the 20th, 29th of October, Mars is going to make that aspect over here. On the 7th, 9th of November, Black Moon Lilith is going to make that aspect. And on the 17th of November, the Sun is going to make that aspect. Right over here. We're not going to talk about that again. The first date I want to talk, we're just going to talk about the 4th of November. Mars goes into Sagittarius energy over here. Quest, adventure, long distance travel, higher education, spirituality. Mars is our assertive planet, wants to get things done. But if we do not master our Mars, it's going to run amok. This is big thinking, legalities as well. So there might be some legal things that have been coming up. Mercury is going to go retrograde in that house as well. Everything looks like it's going to work out fine. Like I said, in any of my membership groups, there's an all signs reading. Legality issues is not for everybody, but like if that really resonates with you and you'd like some channeled messages, definitely go check out the membership cafe. But the next day, so Mars goes into Sagittarius energy. This is also some shadow aspects of this. This is all in my Mastering Mars program, is like having a high tolerance for things isn't cute anymore. It's not. It's just not. Like it's just not. It's just not cute anymore. And so many signs, so many souls are going sober. They're recognizing how detrimental that really is to your body and your being, or they're, easing up on coffee, or they're not eating sugar anymore, or they're looking at like their addictions, your addictive patterns. Addictions can show up in any which way. So Mars and Sagittarius is like, let's push the limit, let's do this. Put that inward. Go into a meditation, or add another extra day that you go to the gym, go for a walk, talk it out more. Talk therapy can be a really great way to utilize this energy. But really, it's like, Mars isn't about like lassoing it and being like, take me where you want to go. It's about saying, this is where I want to go. This is where I'm going to put my energy. This is how I'm going to assert myself. This is how I'm going to continue on my path. So if you're interested in more, my Mastering Mars program is definitely for you. It's all self-led. It's for my leaders, my soul-led, self-led leaders. So definitely check out that program. The next day after that, full moon in Taurus. This is the money axis. There might be some money things coming up, or some mindsets around money, mindsets around safety in money. Like so many different things are coming up for so many people. And remember, what did I write down? This is important. Endings and more endings. We are still finishing up a universal 9-year. So I talked in the video, what is it called? If 2025 brought you to your knees, then this video is for you. Definitely check that out if 2025 brought you to your knees. But it talked about really layering the lens of the universal 9-year with your personal year over it. So for example, I was born on March 23rd. So 2025 is a personal 8-year for me. And I was like, why are things ending? Why is everything in this space? What's going on? Because I was like, because you're also a human being. So you're in a universal 9-year. So 9 and 8 energy I was like, that tracks. So waiting until January, or expecting January, where it's a universal 1-year with an 8-year, January, February, March, beautiful looking beautiful looking numerology, kiddo. So it's understanding this makes what's going on in your life, you stop grasping. And you start saying, that makes sense. Now I can go make moves here. That makes sense. Now I understand where the sun is transiting, where the full moon is going to be. I can release here. It makes it so grounded and practical. That's what I'm here to do for you, is to make channeling, astrology, all of this grounded and practical so you can integrate this into your life. So when we have big weeks, buckle up, decide where you want to go, decide where you want to release. I'll do an all signs reading for Mars and Sagittarius. That'll be fun. But this full moon, releasing old money values, money mindsets, releasing them and really sitting with them. Maybe give yourself like a 30-day challenge where for 60 seconds every day, I'm going to sit with wealth, abundance, and safety, and knowing that I can hold it. Yeah. Do some things about, because with the sun in the house of shared possessions, where have you decided that anyone other than the God of your understanding is your sugar daddy? Like, yes, Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich. Yes, money is going to be in the hands of other people when it's given to you, but it's the God of your understanding saying, go pay that person. Go give them money. Go give them money. So if you're open to receive, and if you have a beautiful, clear energy, you're investable in. Yeah. You got to be open to it. You have to be willing to receive it. And you have to work on those old patterns and constructs. And remember, not all money is for you. Your money is for you. Not all money is for you. That's all I'm going to say about that. The next day, Venus is going to go into Scorpio energy. I absolutely love that. And then the day after that, Uranus is going to retrograde back into Taurus energy. So the 2nd and the 8th house is what's being highlighted here. Where does this fall in your chart? Really focusing on whatever is happening here. Everybody's hanging out in this area. Everybody's hanging out in this area. Uranus going back into Taurus. We know that we're in an ever-changing world. We knew that Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Oh, Neptune went back into Pisces the day that the sun went into Scorpio energy. So we knew that Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus were going to retrograde back into the signs that we're kind of used to them in. Don't have amnesia. Don't get cozy with Uranus and Taurus. Don't get cozy with things going slow. I talked about last week. Yeah, don't settle on the plateau. Don't make do with what you've got. Stay focused and lean into that in meditation. Visualize it. Stay focused. There's so much crumbling right now that I'm just listening to the guides to God. Your inner circle is going to depict where you end up. So if you've been spending time with people that are scared, that have small, like more basic mindsets, that's what you're going to get. That's where you're going to end up. Just spend some time with yourself and the trees and the God of your understanding and your pet. Like, spend some time in contemplation and get back. Like, you need to, shake that out of you. You need to shake that out of you. Hey, baby, I hear you. I see you. After that, so what were those dates? That was the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th in Eastern Standard Time of November. Starting on the 9th of November, Mercury is going to go retrograde in Sagittarius energy right here. So that transit is going to bring us from the 9th of November to the 29th of November. No big deals. Don't sign anything. For some signs, actually, it was interesting. For some signs, this is good. This is like a good vibe. And if you were born under a Mercury retrograde, these types of things really aren't going to affect you as much, but just be aware of it, as well as 2 days after that, on the 11th, Jupiter is going to go retrograde right over here. Again, staying in that trine. So when the sun comes to this, both of these guys are retrograde. I'm just hearing, this is like, you're being asked to pivot or to change direction. You're being asked clearly by the universe, by the God of your understanding. And it's like some of you need to really rebrand channeling and like how you channel. Because it's like God's trying to talk to you. Like sending you angel numbers or sending you this. And you're like, oh, I saw 1111 14 times in the past 2 days. And it's like, maybe there's something in there. Start to take those messages more seriously. Lean into love. Start to take yourself more seriously. Full body chill. Yeah. It's like, I thought many a times in the past month, I was like, there's so many content creators talking about their haters. There's so many people, like, who needs my story? Who needs it? And God was like, I need your story. I need you to talk about it. I need you to clear it so that it's out, so that it's gone, and it's in a video, and you can move on with your life and share more of yourself. Yeah. I can have my private life. I can have my personal life for sure. I have my inner circle. I have those people. I, have all of the compartments, everything that I tell you to do, I do myself. But really knowing who my people are, why they're there, all the different things, but also recognizing, like, I lost track. That message is for you. If you've been afraid to put yourself out there, you know, I saw like a video of Gary Vee where he's like throwing his middle finger up, and I respect that. I respect that. But for intuitives and empaths and old souls, you've come from, you know, I've come from a traumatic past. You might have come from a traumatic past. Around here, usually people that are, you know, healing from traumas are drawn to my work. Leaders are drawn to my work. Spiritual entrepreneurs, you know, public people are drawn to my work. You still have a soft heart. And you still, even if you don't get along with someone, you'd still love to like live and let live. You'd still love to have that. So when you're brought to that face of like a perceived hater, it's like, get to know your angry side as well. Get to know your shadow side. Get to know your natal Mars. Get to know how he asserts himself. All those beautiful little things. Mastering Mars again, a little plug. But it's transformative. It's life-changing. My natal Mars is in my 7th house of relationships, and it's in Taurus. So I used to put so much negative energy, unhealthy energy, not negative, but unhealthy, unnecessary energy into people-pleasing and trying to make certain relationships work. Like, dude, family relationships, where it's like, you don't love me, but love me. You don't love me, but love me. But there's archetypes on this planet of healthy families. I want to feel that. No. Go watch Home Alone, Sarah. No, you don't get that. That's not for you. And accept that. The more you can accept that, the more you can stop running it head on into concrete. So I created that program as a living, breathing, self-led program that can be watched forever. So it's, oh yeah, what was I saying? Scorpio season. Okay, so having Mercury retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, Uranus retrograde, Neptune retrograde, Saturn retrograde, and Chiron retrograde, why not go inward, you know? Why not look at yourself? Why not look at your shadow? Why not want to integrate a little bit of it? Why not look at, it's like I'm hearing some of you have demonized your shadow because it's the most powerful version of yourself, and you might be afraid of your own power. Like, what if people knew my full opinions? What if people knew more about me? What if I shared more of my personal life and gave people the opportunity to leave? I'm following my own advice too. Like, yeah. I think that's it. Yeah. I just felt called to share what I had gone through and experienced going into Scorpio season, because it's just, these deep dives are not, they take courage. And when you're at a threshold, you know that it's not going to be as easy as the paradigm that you were in, but it's worth it. Yeah, you don't get up to Bowser's castle unless you're ready to face him. So definitely, yeah, face your inner shadow, face yourself, face the mirror. Mirror work is a great thing to do right now. I invite you to take a few moments after this video and just sit with yourself in contemplation or with the God of your understanding, and just ask yourself, like, what threshold is in front of me? What am I afraid to cross over? You can look at where Scorpio falls in your chart for some astrological validation. Like I said, Scorpio is a little bit in my 12th house. It's my ascendant sign, and then a lot in my first house. So this is about what my soul came here to do, but the public facing version of myself. So it tracks it's so cliche. It's so cliche what's going on. Astrology right now is very intensely that validation, but also it's like you can get full validation from all signs readings, full just like, oh, that tracks. That's exactly what's going on. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. I just want to add a little bit more of myself here and not just have it be about the planets, because it's like the planets are there for validation, but anytime you're going through a Phoenix moment, anytime you're at a threshold, you can come back to this video, listen, and receive the light codes from my voice. My voice, like I say in the description, and any person that you communicate with, that's why it's really important to like check your inner circle very specifically, is going to unlock codes and knowings within you. That's it. That's it. It's going to happen whether you want it or not. So be very specific as to whose advice you take. The way that I think of it is that if I would trade lives with the person that I'm listening to, then I would 100% take their advice. If not, no thank you. No thank you. But walk through the threshold. Take some time this month and really, I think that one thing that I'll leave you with is that it's really beautiful that for the next little stretch of time, each new moon falls either the day before or a few days before the changing of the season. So the new moon that we'll have in Scorpio is going to be at 28 degrees on the 20th Eastern Standard Time, and then the sun on the 21st Eastern Standard Time will go into Sagittarius for a little bit, for a few months. So you can actually set new moon intentions for the season ahead, but it's in that sign. So it's like, what in Scorpio energy do you want to take into Sag energy? What of Sag energy do you want to take into Cap energy? For right now, what in Libra energy are you going to take into Scorpio energy? Have the balance be inside of you. Have the relationships be as healthy as possible. And let everybody else be. They're all living their lives. It doesn't mean that you're better. It just means that you honor yourself and the person in front of you enough to say, hey, we don't vibe. I love you. I'll see you on the other side. See you in the next video. Love you.